Shipbuilding is one of Starfield's best features by far. I absolutely love it, however it often misses the mark and could be so much better. And given the most recent patch notes mentioned Bethesda intends to continue supporting the game, adding regular updates based on feedback from the community, I thought this video would be a great platform to exercise my thoughts and yours on how to improve shipbuilding in Starfield. Obviously, these are my personal opinions, and if you disagree or want to expand on them, you can do. Just let me know in the comments below. I look forward to responding to them because this is something that I'm very passionate about. And please, please, please do not confuse this criticism as me hating the game. As I mentioned, I love the game, but I want to see it become the best that it can, and maybe vocalizing these changes can help it for the better. So firstly, let's talk about doorways and ladders. This is probably the biggest change that needs to happen. I've spoken about it in my advanced shipbuilder tips video recently. The difficulty of creating a ship layout to our personal liking is horrendous at the moment. Notably, we can't create loops in a ship. At least it's not easily sorted. I know that a few people have been able to do it, but I haven't personally. The game should either give us a way to choose how we connect modules together in the ship builder, either by highlighting connection points or placing specific items to force HABs together, or alternatively, they should give us the option to open a build mode like with outposts and homes whilst we're on the ship that allows us to create doorways, a bit like how we snap the entrance on the outposts to the actual HABs. I feel that is by far the biggest change that we could do with having, but it also goes without saying that the base selection of ship assets that we have in game is just not enough. I already expect this to change with DLCs and no doubt from mods as well, but in my opinion, the more choices we have available, the better. And speaking of ship parts, we should be able to flip and rotate items to our personal preference. The selection is far too limited at the moment to just a few pieces, and even then we can't rotate them how I'd like, giving way to but a handful of ship designs before ships start looking very similar. Currently, I'm also using bugs to clip items into one another for decorational pieces, but if they're just structural decoration pieces, why not give us the option to clip parts together for a specific look? And on the subject of limits, which I guess is pretty much the whole of this video, though I can appreciate that ship lengths are limited to 80 meters total to allow the safe landing of ships with distance between various buildings, though I'll mention I have found a bug that sometimes means my ship clips into structures when exploring, I would love the option to be able to build bigger ships that have the option of, for example, only docking in space with space stations or other ships. This would make the system more complicated for sure. I understand that from a coding point of view, but perhaps you can then give us the option of placing a hangar bay which holds a little shuttle for when we want to land on the planet's surface, for example. Now, when it comes to building ships, there's nothing more infuriating than not having access to various ship parts from different vendors and dealers, especially early in the game, and I can appreciate this. It gives us a reason to go out and explore, but maybe give us the option to pay credits at our outpost landing pads to unlock a particular ship dealer's parts to be made available there. This gives us a reason to save and spend more credits and removes this awkward limitation when it comes to shipbuilding where we have to go out to particular dealers to get certain items. And personally, I'm not a huge fan of the reactor sizes in Starfield either. This soft locking doesn't make sense currently when reactors can have the same energy output regardless of its class. Make different classed modules produce and use considerably more energy. This gives us the option to building much more powerful ships, but at the cost of energy, price, and weight. And from here, we could limit the A-class A-class ships, let's say, to 15 energy production. A B-class ship could be 25 energy, and C-class could be anything above that. If that were the case, I would also scrap module classes as well. If you want to use a C-class shield that uses 8 power, then that's an option for you. But on an A-class ship, you'd be limited to 7 power for engines and weapons in connection with the shield. This also means that you could use the ship parts skill to unlock the higher class weapons when actually it's not a higher class, it's just another form of soft locking. If anything, this gives us more ship customization, giving us the ability to create smuggling or blockade runner style ships, which have large shield outputs and engines, but little else. Also, give us a bigger selection of ship modules. I want the ability to add cloaking devices for stealth, because at the moment, what's the point of flying in stealth? There isn't anything, there's no payoff. If you're a stealthy ship, you should have a sneak attack bonus like on foot. If we do have one, do let me know, because I've actually never done that thinking about it. But giving us the option to take out an engine or shield generator of a ship before engaging a larger force would be awesome, but I do digress here. That's for another video. I'd also love powerful scanners to help aid me in exploration, perhaps giving us points of interest on the system map, or locations of where other ships are in neighboring planets, or extra points of interest on a planet, for example, without having to build a scanner on the planet. Oh, and whilst we're at it, why not add mining lasers that give us a much higher yield of resources when we're asteroid mining that we can then sell should we wish to. We could go much deeper into this, such as modules that make scavenging from destroyed ships more profitable, or flak weaponry on bigger ships to help protect against missiles and smaller ships swarming us. As it stands, the modules once again feel very limited and could be greatly expanded on, obviously in DLCs and mods, but why don't we have this option now? Anyway, there's 8 changes I feel would greatly improve the shipbuilder experience in Starfield, giving players more freedom to build and play the game in their own way. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Or do you feel that there's more changes that can be made to really give you the freedom that you want in Starfield to play the game how you want? Remember, this is a Bethesda RPG. We should be able to play the game how we want to. And we should enjoy that and find it profitable. Because at the moment, it kind of feels like it's pushing us down to play a certain way, and I don't like that. But guys, special thanks does go to all of our amazing supporters on Patreon, most notably our Solarclipse patrons, James Owen, Fiveless and Trebor, as well as our Lunas, the Calamity, Ben Star, and That Dude AW, as well as our Blood Moon of the day, which today is Viking Brit. Until next time, as always, ciao for now.